Well, good afternoon, everyone. A nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but by the men it honors, the men it remembers. That quote is from John F. Kennedy. And that is one of the reasons that we are all here today, to honor and remember the men and women who fought in the Korean War, our heroes from that conflict. Now, many of our veterans from the Korean War, and we have about 13,000 of them here in our state, feel like this is called the Forgotten War for a reason, that their sacrifices are not remembered. But we're here today to tell you on behalf of the state of Nebraska and the Republic of Korea that we appreciate your sacrifices, your actions, and everything you did to protect our liberties and to provide the same opportunities for that freedom to other people. That your sacrifices mattered and made a difference, and that we as a nation could not be more proud of our Korean War veterans. Today I'm being joined by John Hilgert, who is our Director of the Department of Veterans Affairs, and Deputy Consul General from Chicago, Donghan Yang, who is here to present Ambassador of Peace medals to our Korean War veterans. Now, in the Korean War, there were many critical moments. But one that I want to recall has to do with the Chosin Reservoir. When 15,000 U.S. and British soldiers were surrounded by 120,000 Chinese troops. They had to fight their way to the sea 78 miles away in temperatures that dipped to minus 30. But they succeeded. They stayed together as a team and fought their way through and reached the sea at the cost of 3,000 dead, 6,000 wounded, and thousands of severe frostbite cases. The enemy took 45,000 casualties. And that battle demonstrates the perseverance, the toughness, and the fortitude of the American military. And it was sacrifices like at the Chosin Revenue that ultimately has allowed for the nation of Korea to exist, the Republic of Korea. And we can see that this has led to the freedom of millions of people. And if you ever want to think about the difference between North Korea and South Korea, go look at one of those maps of the earth at night that looks at Asia, and in South Korea you'll see all the lights, in North Korea it's dark. And that demonstrates the difference between what free enterprise and liberty can accomplish versus tyranny and enslavement. The Korean War mattered. And so today we're here to remember our Korean War veterans and their sacrifice. And at the state of Nebraska, we continue to work toward our goal to make Nebraska the most friendly, veteran-friendly state in the country. We do that by recognizing our veterans. In fact, we created 5 additional license plates to be able to do that. We've tried to be more customer service oriented and friendly by combining our Department of Veterans Hospitals with our Department of Veterans Affairs to create a one-stop shop for our veterans here in the state. And perhaps one of the areas that we've made the most progress is with employment, in regard to employment. We've expanded the hiring preferences here at the state of Nebraska, not only to include veterans, but the spouses of active military. We've changed Rule 21, working with the Department of Education, so that the spouses of our active military, when they come to the state, can get an automatic 3-year teaching certificate, so they don't have to go through that process again. We've passed a bill that allows our Department of Health and Human Services and other agencies to be able to issue temporary licenses to any occupation covered under the Uniform Credentialing Act. We've expanded our ability to do reciprocity with other states with regard to nurses when it comes to our veterans. We're trying to make this as easy as possible for that family to come to our state, integrate in to the great culture we have here, and take care of their own families. But part of that is also remembering all the people who came before them. And today, it's about our Korean War veterans on the 65th anniversary of the armistice being signed in Korea. In a moment, I'm going to allow the Deputy Consul General here to say a few words on behalf of the Republic of Korea. But before that, I want to take this last moment to again say thank you to our Korean War veterans and their families, because we know that the families sacrifice as well when their loved one has put on that uniform. And in recognition of this day, I'm going to do a State of Nebraska proclamation that declares that July 27th is National Korean War Veterans Armistice Day in Nebraska, and urge all Nebraskans to take due note of the occurrence, and when they have the opportunity, to say thank you to anyone who is in our military or who is a veteran. And so with my signature, officially proclaim. I'm going to give this to you for the time being. And with that, please help me welcome the Deputy Consul for the Republic of Korea, Mr. Donghan Yang.
Thank you so much, Governor Ricky, for the kind introduction. Dear Korean War veterans and family members, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to be here at the proclamation signing and the presentation of Ambassador for Peace medals. My special thanks go to all the Korean War veterans and their family members for being here with us today. I'd also like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to Governor Rickett and Government of Nebraska for organizing this meaningful ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, 68 years ago in 1950, U.S. soldiers were sent to Korea to defend a country they never knew and a people they never met. 2,700 brave Nebraskans answered the call of duty to protect Korea under attack. They fought in the mountains, by the rivers, and in the bitter cold, ultimately securing the freedom of South Korea. More than 300 Nebraskans sacrificed their lives. The people of Korea and the Korean government will remember their sacrifice and courage of the U.S. soldiers forever. Ladies and gentlemen, this year marks the 65th anniversary of the Korean War Armistice Agreement, which were designed to reach a final peaceful settlement. However, as we know, that final peace settlement has not arrived yet. It was against this backdrop that the historic summit meeting between U.S. and North Korea was held in Singapore last month. This summit meeting was a historic landmark which dismantled the last Cold War in the world history. The summit meeting will usher in a new era of denuclearization and permanent peace in the Korean Peninsula. Ladies and gentlemen, since the armistice agreement was signed, war-torn South Korea has gone through many difficult challenges. However, the close security, economic, and cultural partnership between Korea and the U.S. has served as a firm bedrock upon which our prosperity has been made possible. Once again, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude and respect to the veterans and their family members. I believe the ultimate tribute to the U.S. veterans lies in what Korea has achieved. I hope you can take pride in the miracle you helped Korea to achieve. In the following months and years, I hope our efforts to promote peace and prosperity in the Korean Peninsula will be accelerated. In this process, I look forward to your continued support. Lastly, I wish all of you continued good health and happiness. Thank you.
So, as I wrap up here, I would like to give you another quote from John F. Kennedy. He said, "As we express our gratitude, we must always remember the greatest form of appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them." So again, I want to encourage all Nebraskans, when you have the opportunity to meet a veteran, thank them for their service. If you see somebody who's in our military, shake their hand. Let them know that we appreciate their service and sacrifice that they and their families make. On behalf of the state of Nebraska, once again to our Korean War veterans, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. It has mattered, and we remember. God bless you all. And with that, I'd like to call up our Korean War veterans to come up and receive the Ambassador of Peace Medal. And we will start with John, our Director of Department of Veterans Affairs, John Hilgert here, and Deputy Director John McNally will present the medals. And then if you could step over by the flags, we'll take a picture. And we'll start with the veterans first, and then when we finish the veterans, we will then ask the families who are going to come up and receive the medal on behalf of their veteran to receive that medal posthumously. And finally, I just want to also recognize that there are veterans who are not here today that will be receiving a medal, whether it will be in their hometowns or communities or so forth. We also thank them, even though they couldn't be here with us today and their families couldn't be with us. So with that, let's thank our veterans.
Can I get in front of you, Patty?
You walk to the side and I got it. All good.
Ladies and gentlemen, if there's any other folks, if there's any families who are accepting the medal on behalf of a loved one, please come up. And if there's any other Korean War veterans, I want to make sure everyone is taken care of and recognized. Ladies and gentlemen, our ceremony is nearly concluded. But before we go our separate ways, we would be remiss not to remember the 36,000 Americans who did not come home from the Korean War and the 1.2 million people of the Republic of Korea that paid that price in that conflict. So before we depart, would you join me just in a moment of silence for those men and women who did not return? Thank you. Today your service was honored, and as you leave these proceedings, there's a table in the back. You will be given a bag which will contain the presentation case for the medal of which you received. In that bag you will also receive a handsome hardcover book entitled Korea Reborn, a gift from our friends in the Republic of Korea. Inside that book, your Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs did insert a benefit sheet. The main point of that benefit sheet is our contact information. We honored you today, but we're going to thank you forever. Please contact your County Veteran Service Officer or the state of Nebraska if you have any questions about benefits on the state or federal level. It would be our honor to serve you. And with that, I will conclude these proceedings. God bless you all, and thank you for coming.